In 7 years working at Disneyland, I watched the same money mistake cost guests an average of $340 per family visit. It happens in the first 3 hours you're in the park, and 85% of tourists never realize they made it until they're already on the plane home counting up the damage on their credit card statement. And I know what you might be thinking. You've probably been to Disney enough times that you think you've figured out the system. Maybe you've watched 100 YouTube videos. Maybe you've even tried a few tricks yourself. But here's the thing. I wasn't a guest trying to outsmart the parks. I was the guy standing behind the counter, watching the exact same patterns play out every single day for over 7 years. The mistakes that actually drain people's wallets. Most tourists never even realize they're making them, because Disney designed the system to make them feel like choices. My name's Marcus Hendricks. I just left the Disney company after 7 years. Started as a quick service food cast member, worked my way up to guest experience services at the main gate, and spent my last 2 years as a guest relations coordinator at one of the deluxe resort hotels. And now that I don't have an employer to protect, I can finally tell you what active cast members can't. What I'm about to share aren't conspiracy theories or anti-Disney rants. I love this company. These are pricing structures, upcharges, and decision points built right into the guest experience. Cast members know about them. We watch guests fall into them every single day. But the company doesn't advertise the alternatives, and most tourists never think to question what they're being shown. Real money. Real overspending. Hundreds of dollars left on the table because guests didn't know there was another option. I've seen families spend the equivalent of a second vacation just on add-ons they didn't need. So if you're enjoying this so far, do me a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe with the notification bell on. I'm walking you through 12 money mistakes I watch tourists make every single day, and some of these will genuinely surprise you, even if you've been to Disneyland 10 times. Let's start with the mistake that happens before you even walk through the gates. The first one is the ticket upgrade trap. When you arrive at the front of the park, there are kiosks and ticket booths everywhere, and the cast members at those booths are trained to ask one specific question. Would you like to add Park Hopper to your ticket today? It sounds harmless. It's only $60 or $70 more per person. But here's what they don't tell you. Most guests who add Park Hopper at the gate never actually use it. I watched the data on this for years. Families add it because they think they might want to visit both parks, but then they get into Disneyland, ride a few attractions, eat lunch, and realize they're not going to make it to California Adventure that day anyway. If you genuinely plan to visit both parks in a single day, Park Hopper makes sense. If you're not sure, skip it. You can always upgrade later in the day at guest relations if you change your mind, and you'll only pay for the days you actually need it. The second mistake is buying Lightning Lane Multi-Pass without checking the wait times first. Disney sells these passes starting at around $30 per person per day, sometimes higher during peak season. For a family of 4, that's $120 before you've even bought a churro. Here's what most guests don't realize. On certain days of the week and certain times of year, the standby waits are completely manageable. Tuesday and Wednesday mornings in non-peak months can have wait times under 20 minutes for most attractions. I watched families spend hundreds on Lightning Lane passes on days when they could have walked onto half the rides. Before you buy, check the Disneyland app the morning of your visit. If standby waits are reasonable, skip the pass. If you see a lot of red and yellow on the wait time map, then it might be worth it. Don't buy it the night before just because the app prompts you to. The third mistake is the souvenir cup. Cast members at the quick service restaurants are trained to upsell you on the refillable souvenir cup. It's around $15, and they'll tell you it includes unlimited refills for the day at participating locations. Sounds great until you realize a few things. Most guests refill the cup maybe 2 or 3 times before they get tired of carrying it around. The participating locations are limited and often inconvenient, and the cup itself is bulky and ends up shoved in a stroller or backpack by mid-afternoon. Unless your family genuinely drinks a lot of soda and is willing to plan your day around the refill stations, this is almost always a money loser. Bring a refillable water bottle instead. Water is free at every quick service location. Just walk up and ask for a cup of ice water. It's a cast member courtesy, and we hand them out all day. The fourth mistake is buying photos individually instead of getting Genie Plus or Memory Maker access. Wait, hear me out on this one, because it cuts both ways. The PhotoPass photographers stationed around the park take beautiful photos. If you buy them one at a time after your trip, you'll pay around $20 per photo. A family that gets photos at Sleeping Beauty Castle, on a few rides, and at character meet and greets can easily rack up $200 in individual photo charges. The unlimited PhotoPass package, when bundled correctly with your trip, is significantly cheaper. But here's the catch. Don't buy the unlimited package if you're only doing a single day and you don't plan to seek out the photographers. I watch solo travelers and couples buy the package and then take 3 photos all day. They paid for 90% of nothing. Decide based on how you actually plan to use it, not the fear of missing out. The fifth mistake is eating breakfast inside the park. This one alone costs families I served an average of $40 to $60 per morning. A basic breakfast platter at a quick service restaurant inside the park runs around $18 to $22 per person. For a family of 4, that's nearly $100 before you've even ridden anything. And the food, I'll be honest with you, is not worth that price. It's a captive audience meal. The smarter move is eating breakfast at your hotel before you come in. Most Disney area hotels offer breakfast included or have affordable options nearby, or grab pastries and coffee from a local bakery the night before. You'll save $60 to $80 per day, and you won't burn an hour of park time waiting in a breakfast line. If you're getting value from this, do me a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I've got a lot more insider stuff to share. The sixth mistake is the character dining trap, but not the way you think. Character dining itself can be magical, and for some families, it's absolutely worth the price. The mistake isn't the meal itself. The mistake is booking it on the wrong day. Here's what I saw happen constantly. Families would book character breakfast on their first park day. They'd spend 90 minutes inside the restaurant, miss the early morning low-crowd window at the rides, and then walk into the park at 10 in the morning when the lines were already an hour long. They wasted their most valuable park hours sitting down for pancakes with Goofy. If you want to do character dining, book it on a day when you're not trying to maximize ride time. A late lunch on a travel day. A breakfast on your last morning. Don't sacrifice prime touring hours for a meal you could have had any other day of the trip. The seventh mistake is parking. Standard parking at Disneyland runs around $35 a day, and preferred parking is even more. If you're driving in for multiple days, that adds up fast. A 4-day visit means $140 just to park your car. What most tourists don't know is that there are perfectly legal alternative parking options within walking distance or with shuttle service. Several area hotels offer day-use parking for significantly less. Some local lots near the resort offer competitive rates with quick shuttle service. If you're staying at an off-property hotel, check whether your hotel has a complimentary shuttle. Most do, and you'll save the parking fee entirely. I had guests tell me they didn't even consider this option because Disney's parking signs are everywhere, and the alternatives aren't advertised. The eighth mistake is buying merchandise on impulse the first day. The shops at the front of the park, especially the big one on Main Street, are positioned exactly where they are for a reason. They're the first thing you see when you walk in, full of excitement, and they're the last thing you pass on the way out, tired and emotional. Disney's merchandise pricing has gone up significantly over the past few years. A standard plush is now around $30. A Spirit jersey is $65 or more. Pin sets, mugs, ear headbands. It all adds up. Here's what I tell people. Set a souvenir budget before you walk in. Decide what each family member is allowed to spend, and have them wait until the last day to make their picks. 80% of impulse purchases I watched at the gate in the morning ended up being things guests regretted by the end of the trip. Wait, walk the park, and let your kids identify the one item they actually want, not the first shiny thing they see. The ninth mistake is buying bottled water and snacks at park kiosks. A bottle of water at an outdoor cart inside the park is around $5. A pack of cotton candy is the same. A churro is over $7. None of these are inherently bad, but the markup is enormous. The hack is this. Disney allows you to bring in your own snacks and sealed water bottles. They actually allow soft-sided coolers up to a certain size. Pack a few granola bars, a couple of waters, and some easy snacks in a small bag. You'll save $20 to $30 a day, and you won't waste time standing in snack lines. Save your money for the items you can only get in the park, like the Dole Whip or a hand-dipped corn dog, and skip the bottled water markup. The 10th mistake is not checking your hotel reservation for available discounts after you book. This one is huge, and almost nobody knows about it. Disney releases promotional rates and special offers throughout the year. Sometimes those offers come out after you've already booked your trip. Most guests assume their rate is locked in and that's it. It's not. You can call the reservations line and request to have the new offer applied to your existing booking. I helped guests do this all the time at the guest relations desk. Sometimes we'd save them $300 or $400 on a stay they'd already paid for, just by applying a newer rate. Check the Disney website once a week between booking and arrival. If you see a deal that wasn't there when you booked, call. The worst they can say is no. The 11th mistake is buying the wrong dining plan, or buying a dining plan at all without doing the math. Disney offers various dining packages and meal plans, and they're aggressively promoted at booking. Cast members at the resort are trained to upsell these because they lock in revenue and they make guests feel like they're getting a deal. Here's the truth. Dining plans only save money if you actually eat the way the plan assumes. That means using table service credits at full-priced restaurants, finishing every snack credit, and not letting any credits go unused. I watched families lose $100 a day in unused credits because they got tired, ate light, or skipped meals to ride attractions. Before you buy any dining package, sit down and map out what you actually plan to eat. Add up the menu prices honestly. If the plan costs more than what you'd spend out of pocket, don't buy it. Speaking of saving money, if you're still with me, that means you're getting value out of this. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It's the only way these videos keep reaching people who need them. The 12th mistake, and this is the one that breaks my heart the most, is not asking guest relations when something goes wrong. Here's what I want you to understand. When you walk up to the guest relations window, the cast member can see your entire profile, your ticket history, your hotel stay, your dining reservations, your past visits, any complaints you've filed, any compliments, everything. And we have discretion, real discretion. If a ride breaks down while you're in line, if you have a legitimate issue with a meal, if your room had a problem, we have the ability to offer service recovery, a free lightning lane pass, a merchandise credit, sometimes a fast pass to a popular attraction. But here's the thing, we can only help guests who actually come and talk to us. I watched thousands of guests have something go wrong and then just absorb it, complain to their family, and walk away. They never gave us a chance to make it right. If something goes wrong on your visit, and you handle it politely and specifically, you'd be amazed at what guest relations can do for you. We want guests to leave happy. That's literally our job. But we can't fix what we don't know about. Here's the thread running through all 12 of these mistakes. Every single one happens because Disney has built the experience to make spending feel like the default and questioning feel like work. The upsells are smooth, the alternatives are quiet, and most tourists, especially first-timers, don't even realize they're making decisions because the system is designed to feel automatic. But you have a choice every single time. At the ticket booth, at the food counter, at the merchandise shop, at the parking lot. Every interaction is a decision point, and knowing that is half the battle. I'll tell you what I learned in 7 years working at the happiest place on earth. The families who had the best vacations weren't the ones who spent the most money. They were the families who planned, who knew what they actually wanted, and who weren't afraid to skip the things that didn't matter to them. They were the families who walked up to guest relations when something went wrong instead of stewing about it. They were the families who packed their own snacks and saved their souvenir budget for the last day. They were the families who treated their Disney trip like a vacation, not a checklist of every upcharge. So here's what you do before your next Disney trip. Sit down with your family and talk about what actually matters to you. The rides, the characters, the food, the shopping, whatever it is. Then build your budget around those priorities and ignore the rest. Don't let the front of the park decide what you spend your money on. You decide. If this saved you even one mistake on your next trip, then I did what I set out to do. And if you found this video helpful, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. There's a lot more I haven't told you yet, and I'm just getting started. Next time, I'll walk you through the 5 sentences that got guests upgrades and service recovery I wasn't technically supposed to approve.